If you run a lead generation Google Ads account and you can't seem to scale or attract qualified leads, the solution is not techniques that were implemented 5 years ago. Google Ads changes rapidly and you must adapt. So in this video, I'm going to explain the 4 crucial things needed in 2025 to scale your Google Ad account and to attract qualified leads that overall increase your bottom line revenue. So the first fundamental and the most important fundamental is conversion tracking. And this should go without saying, but after auditing over $100 million in ad spend, I find over 80% of the time when I audit an ad account, this is the thing that businesses neglect. They'll focus on everything else, the fancy Google Ads copy, the keyword insertion, the keyword match types, et cetera, but they neglect the conversion tracking. And if you neglect the conversion tracking, you're doing everything else. It's like trying to fill a bucket with holes in the bottom of it. Any change you make, you're going to be spinning your wheels, wondering why things are not successful. So let's dive in to the most common pitfalls I see, the things you should focus on today to fix the ad account to have short-term and long-term success. I am in an ad account right now and I am looking at a couple things. The very first thing I see when I audit ad accounts is if you have a primary conversion, this means it's influencing the algorithm. A lot of people have red tags. If the tag is red, that means it's set up incorrectly. And that's the first place I go. 9 times out of 10, I see this is flawed and set up incorrectly. So the very first place you want to go is just make sure that your tagging method and your conversion tracking is uploading and operating correctly. And then the second thing I see, and a lot of business owners have questions on this, they go, I don't know if I can trust my Google Ads data. It seems like Google Ads is telling me I'm getting 30, 40, 50 leads a month. But in reality, when I look at my CRM, I have 10 leads a month. This can't be possible. And the reason why is because your Google Ads account is likely double counting conversions. So for these 2 conversions right here, these are separate conversion actions. But a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll have 2 of the same conversions set up. Let's just use a lead generation form, a free estimate, right? They'll have those set up the same way, just different tagging methods. So maybe one's on Google Tag Manager and maybe one's an upload from Google Analytics 4, right? And then when you do this is the biggest thing. When you do this and you inflate data that way by having the same conversion action track them twice, one, you're going to be very confused when you're viewing the data and going, hey, Salesforce says we only had 10 leads, but Google Ads says we had 20. And then when you make changes to the ad account, you're not actually going to know which campaign, which ad group, which keyword actually performing the best because everything's going to be flawed and skewed, right? So the easiest way to fix this is 1, just make sure your conversion actions are set up correctly. 2 is just to make sure that you're not double counting anything. Make sure that you have 1 conversion action per category that's set up and marked as a primary conversion. Great. If you fix both of those 2 things, I am confident that you will be amongst the top 10% of advertisers in the lead generation space. And this is going to not only short-term, but long-term really impact your revenue generation on Google Ads. All right. Now that we fixed the leak from conversion tracking, let's move on to fundamental number 2. And this is going to be the account structure. This is the second thing I typically know, or really the first thing I notice when I pop open a Google Ads account, even before the conversion tracking. I'm in an ad account right now. This is the first thing I see. And what I often see when I have an ad account open is advertisers simply have too many campaigns. And so for this campaign or for this account, you can see there's 3 campaigns, very simple structure. What I'll likely see is companies have 10, 20, even sometimes 30 different campaigns. And when you have 10 different campaigns, and let's just say you have $1,000 budget. Well, if you have $100 a day spread across 10 different campaigns, sure, you're reaching $1,000 a day budget, but you're spreading data too thin. Google Ads works really well when you can consolidate and isolate data into 1 campaign so their learnings can become quicker. The automated bid strategy becomes more effective and they're able to target the proper conversion actions, i.e. qualified leads more effectively with the more data they have. So if you consolidate data in an ad account, for example, like with this ad account, you'll see I have some pretty aggressive budgets on these campaigns, but why this is beneficial is because over time, this only gets stronger. The more data you feed an algorithm, Google Ads is an AI model, especially if you're using automated bid strategies. It gets stronger over time and it gets better at optimizing for the leads that you want, for the qualified leads. So your sales team is happy that you're running these Google Ads accounts and that you are actually rooting things to bottom line revenue. So what I always optimize for and really opt for when I do these audits is simplify your account structure. Go to your top 2 campaigns, top 3 campaigns max. And so this is kind of the structure I utilize. Is I'll have a branded campaign to protect my brand name. I'll leverage heavily a search campaign to optimize inbound traffic and intent-based traffic for what you have, either your product or your service. And then if Performance Max works for you, do it. It's working for us very well, and I'll just show you real fast. From a category standpoint, this over the last 30 days for us has yielded 50 qualified leads for us just in this campaign alone. So based on that, if you can simplify your account structure, you can train the algorithm to get stronger and optimize for the most bottom of funnel leads, the things that are actually important to you. And then not only this, but you're not going to waste any more time spending it on campaigns that are very low leverage for you anyways. It's going to make Google Ads account management way easier for you, I promise. All right, now that we've structured our ad campaign the right way, let's talk about where we're sending that traffic. A lot of people think, hey, the ad drives the conversion. The ad is actually what's going to drive the phone call or the lead form submission. Wrong. The ad gets the click for a targeted term that you offer, but the landing page is what drives the conversion. That's where people will actually call, submit the lead form, get in touch with you, right? That's where they go down the funnel to become revenue. You can have the best ad account tactics set up. You can have those two fundamentals set up correctly. And if you're missing out on sending traffic to a faulty landing page, you're simply not going to get any conversions. And so we have two roofing pages. I'm just going to use roofing as an example. These are two local contractors here in Colorado Springs. This is where I'm located. So the things that I always look for when sending traffic to a page is, what do you do, where do you do it, and why should the user pick you over your competitors? And so this guy has what he does, he has where he does, he has his address, but he's making it hard for people to convert. You have the call now button, which is cool, but you don't really have a very solid call to action. It's very vague. Why choose us? And then I have to copy this number into my thing. So if I go to the why choose us, I see more info about his company, which this is good. This is why I should choose him. So it's building the credibility, but I want to just get in contact with him. Sure, there's the call button, but a lot of people want to submit a lead form as well. And so if you scroll down, you'll see he has a spot where they can get a free lead form, right? So I would think this is a very bad site. Reason being is because you want to make it as easy as possible for them to get in contact with you and have multiple opportunities to do that. This guy and this person, whoever set up this landing page, it's all over the place. Versus here's a competitor. What they do, where they do it, and why you should choose them. And then you have two call to actions. This alone, if you fix that and you answer those questions, you will win. You will be so far above your competition who's also running ads for your space. And so fix that. That is ultimately going to be where you're sending the traffic. So you should really optimize that before you worry about the new ad tactic, the fixing the ad copy, anything of that nature. Optimize your landing page and your conversion rate, and your dollar will stretch further on Google Ads. Okay, this is the last fundamental, and this is arguably the hardest thing to do. And this is why people hire ad agencies to do this effectively. But the lens in which you see data is going to allow you to make proper account decisions. And the prerequisite to that is just making sure that your columns are set up correctly in Google Ads so you can view the data correctly, analyze it, and then make changes based on what the data is telling. I have an ad account pulled up, and here is my favorite columns to use. This quickly allows me to see what is right and what is wrong with an ad account or a campaign. Here's what I do. I usually have average 7-day cost. I have expected monthly spend to know where we're pacing. I have our cost in here for the date range. I have our conversion count, and then cost per conversion, clicks, search impression share. These columns alone will be able to tell you the health in a high level snapshot. And so if you have these columns alone, you'll be able to see, okay, how much am I spending on a conversion, right? What's my cost per conversion? And your team should have metrics to know if this is healthy or not. And so you can tweak different ad accounts. So right now, PMAX is our highest cost per conversion campaign, but also being able to look at things like conversion value is very important. And so this has really, really high conversion value for us as well. So you'll want to make sure you pull up those. But this in a nutshell is going to allow you to see the health of your ad account. And then from there, dive in deeper and make tweaks. So if I see that this campaign is the one with the highest cost per conversion, I can dive into this campaign and start to really adjust things, pull up a PMAX script, and really start to dive in deep to know what I should exclude, include, if I should update ad copy, etc. Right? The other thing too that I always look at is search impression share. So search impression share is essentially going to tell you how much opportunity you have in that particular campaign. This tells you essentially how visible you are. For the targeted terms that exist in that campaign, how visible are you for those terms? This is just real high level. That's kind of what I would look at and what I'd look for in an ad account. I'd pull up those columns. Those will give you the overall health. Before you go super deep, just look at those few things, those few columns, and they should inform you. Even just this cost per conversion column should inform you where to look. I see that this is our highest cost per conversion campaign, and it gets a decent amount of conversions, but it's very clear, just looking at this, that the adjustable campaign has the lowest cost per conversion. It gets the best cost per conversion and the highest volume. So this is my star campaign, and that is why you'll see it's spending the most. Last 7 days on a daily average, it's spending 570 pounds a day. So you want to make sure you're optimized and look at ad accounts that way. And if you look at it that way, it'll help you prioritize where you want to spend your time and break that down. You do the campaign level, the ad group level, the keyword level, and this will help you inform changes. Great. So just to recap, the 4 things needed to scale an ad account or to attract more qualified leads: 1, conversion tracking; 2, account structure and consolidation; 3, optimizing your landing page; and 4, just making sure you're looking at the right data in general to be able to effectively make changes in the ad account. Great. So if you guys are looking for a free audit, I myself or my team can audit the ad account. We do free audits. So click the link in the description to sign up for a free audit. And then 2, I have a video listed up above, and this goes over more in-depth strategy in optimizing a lead generation strategy. So I'm in the account a lot more heavy, giving my tips, giving my actual structure and my guide in terms of how I look at ad accounts, how I analyze data, and how I've been able to grow brands. And so if you follow that, it should help as well. Thank you guys.